All right, so let's get started with our webinar. Thank you, everybody. Welcome to Engaging and Inspiring Students with Immersive AI Labs. We are so excited today to talk to you about artificial intelligence and how our solution can be very beneficial for your classroom, even if you're a teacher and you want to know about this amazing solution. So we have here Amy George, which is our K-12 account manager. We have here Michael, which is our higher ed account manager, and we have our special guest, Paul Knack. He has a real encounter with the AI Labs, and he's going to talk to us about his experience and what he has done before. So Amy, let's get started with this.
Thanks, Maria. We're just going to go through our agenda really quick. We're just going to talk briefly about Robot Lab. We'll introduce ourselves, the speakers, talk about what an AI lab is, highlight some of the use cases we have, and then some Q&A through Michael and I, and also Paul. And then we'll bring it back to you, the participants. If you have any questions, you can feel free to add them to the chat, and Maria will moderate those for us. So my name is Amy George. I've been with Robot Lab for about 3 years now, highlighting mostly the K-12 schools in the US and around the world. I have implemented several AI labs in the US and also helped launch the VR Expeditions 2.0 platform in 2021.
Hi, Michael. I'm the account manager in higher ed. Recently started with Robot Lab, but got a lot of experience implementing technology and different products that help feed the needs of clients. So in this case, universities and colleges. So our strategic approach helps us establish state-of-the-art labs and technology and products to basically craft a path for future trailblazers.
A little bit about Robot Lab. We're founded in 2011. We have offices in Texas, California, and Colombia. We're the leader in integration of robotic solutions, serving over 32,000 customers worldwide. And we're present in multiple industries, including hospitality, banking, retail, education, healthcare, corporate, government, and public administration. And we're offering consulting, integration, deployment, support, and repair services. Some of our partners throughout the years that we have worked with, and also many award-winning programs that we have been fortunate to have throughout the years. Some of our accomplishments for Robot Lab, we are the sole distributors of Now and Pepper robots in the North America and South America regions. We're the creators of VR Expeditions 2.0, a replacement for Google Expeditions VR platform. We've successfully installed AI in esports lab at multiple educational locations, and we've recently expanded to franchising for B2B in various territories. Just an announcement, we will be at ISTE 2023 this year in Philadelphia. We'll be at booth 1950, highlighting our AI lab solution. So please feel free to join us if you will be attending. We'll be there to answer any questions, walk you through each of the stations and the AI lab solution itself. Some of our examples throughout the years, we're very proud of these. This was from North Carolina in a middle school. This is another one in North Carolina for a cybersecurity lab, and an elementary school in Florida, and then at esports in Florida. So we've done many different kind of settings, different age groups, etc., as you can see. And here's for a university in Florida. So what is an AI lab? We think of it as a turnkey solution, a modular seating for students where they can, rotate between stations or work all as a group to learn different concepts in robotics and technology with hands-on solutions, really starting from an early age too, learning the basics of coding in different programming languages, starting from Blockly and Scratch-based programming all the way up to research development, computer science, etc. So really, we're preparing students for careers in the future of STEM, college readiness, things of that nature. We do highlight curriculum and lessons available through our Engage K-12 platform, If there's any supplemental products that might be newer and we don't have that on our platform, we do use the lessons from the manufacturers. There's a variety of different products that we offer. We take the best of breed technology. This is what we say because we test things out. We make sure it can be used over and over again and that there are lessons aligned with them. So that's really what Robot Lab does in a nutshell. In addition to that, we also do the procurement, the renderings, installation and on-site training for you, as well as support after it's installed and implemented.
And the benefits for students and teachers encourages collaboration and teamwork. So you're immersed in the environment, and it's a open seating, so everyone's at modular desks and able to collaborate and talk to each other. As far as in robotics and tech, they get a competitive edge. So employers are increasingly looking for candidates with AI skills, and the lab can only help facilitate and breed those skills for them. They get a ton of hands-on experience, so they can provide students with the opportunity to experiment with the AI tools and tech, and to see how they can actually use it in real world problems and pursue the STEM careers. The AI lab also helps students learn about it in a fun and engaging way, with fun tools and robots. It sparks their interest in these STEM subjects and helps continue and keep that flame going to keep pursuing those careers. So great benefits.
Thanks, Michael.
Mm-hmm.
We have a quick video clip. This is from Guilford County Schools in North Carolina.
We are really excited about our Academy of Computer and Information Sciences. Not only does it allow our students to learn new and cutting edge technology, but it prepares them for life after high school with career or college.
This is just an example of our stations. Industry 4.0, humanoid robotics. This is the now robot doing Tai Chi, showing the conveyor belt and the robotic arm.
No matter what they decide to do in the future, even if they don't go into cybersecurity, even if they don't go into artificial intelligence, the skills that they learn is what's going to help them.
I worked in corporate America for 20 years, so I can bring my experience, what I've learned in corporate America, I can bring it right here to the high school kids, teaching them the skills that they would need in the business area.
The experiences that they get here in the academy are definitely unmatched. I don't think that there's another program in our area that kind of compares to this. The in-classroom portion, the hands-on portion, the opportunity for internships and other mentorship programs, I think that that's just something that is definitely needed.
Having these specifically designed spaces makes our students feel a part of something larger and a part of the community, both inside of our walls and outside of our walls.
It shows how much they care and how much they're willing to put into it.
Helps you be more creative because it's more colored and it's more like interactive stuff that you can do hands-on and learn a lot.
Not a lot of students are able to have this opportunity to have this type of hands-on learning. When I started the program, it made me think in different ways, and I had to figure things out and see things from a different perspective.
I've been interested in technology since 8th grade. This pathway allows me to add programs. So
I'm grateful because it can help education now and in the future.
So we're gonna announce Paul Connect. Go ahead.
So special guest Paul, he's been since 1991 working with managing after-school clubs, youth summer camps. He brings his experience from that to the educational technology community. He's got a super unique background working in the entertainment industry, specifically in special effects and stunts. So you can see him doing a bunch of MacGyver skills that he's brought over to help problem solve and create all of these kind of turnkey solutions that we have for the labs to support the goals of our school. So yeah, these are lead all
you.
those projects. Yeah.
Paul, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to do this webinar a little bit different from everybody. So we have already some Q&A from customers that we already implemented, like I think 7, 8 AI labs, Amy, if I'm not wrong, over the last year, and we're implementing more. So we have a lot of Q&As, and Paul, which is our special guest today, he's going to give us an answer to those questions that you might also have. And we encourage you also to type questions if you have here in the webinar. We will be happy to answer them. But I'm just going to go ahead and ask you some questions to the three of you. And then from there, we're just going to start like the dynamic of the webinar. So Paul, thank you so much for joining us again. You are the one who has been from the beginning until the end of all the implementations of the AI labs, which is a really, really nice process and also difficult sometimes. So let's start by telling us what kind of technical support does RoboLab provide to schools that want to implement the AI lab?
So first of all, yeah, I've been involved in every implementation, actually being on site with the install. In terms of technical support, we, reach out to the school and make sure that everything works, the network and all that. And once we're on site, we provide all the support needed to make sure this lab is successful, from training of the material and the equipment they're using to follow up afterwards if there's any problems. And hopefully there's no problems afterwards.
Is there any safety precautions you consider for students using the AI lab?
Of course, safety is our top priority. Some of these equipment is mechanical, some of it's electrical. We cover with the teachers and the students all the safety precautions to make sure, you don't hurt yourself, you don't hurt the equipment, and vice versa. So yeah, we cover all that while we're out there on the install, and do that with the school and the teachers.
What about training for educators? Do you guys provide training on how to use each of the products of the AI lab?
So we partner with the manufacturers. So we do our hands-on training while we're out there on the install. There's also follow-up material on the internet that some of the manufacturers have. So there's always resources available for them to learn the equipment. And any updates that come out, we make sure that we're following up with that to make sure you can use the equipment to the best of your ability.
Thank you, Paul. I think this question is for Amy or for Michael. What specific equipment does the AI lab require? Is there any setup process like for the AI labs?
Yeah, so, on the initial call, we try to get as much information as we can to offer the best solution for, students, age group, learning ability, students per session. All of these things are really important when we try to build this lab with you. And it truly is custom tailored to the space that you have. Dimensions are very important. Also understanding, different concepts that students might already know, or different areas that teachers want to highlight. We really try to listen to that and make it work for each situation.
How does the AI labs integrate into our existing curriculum that probably already teachers have for their classroom? Is there a possibility to integrate it?
Yeah, I think some of the lessons, at least for K-12, it really could be cross-curricular. So storytelling modules with the Now robot, doing math sorts of activities with different products. There's different ways to use these products in different subjects. So whether you're using it as, a 1-hour classroom time or robotics time or CTE course, or just having teachers coming in and using it during their class time. I think there's different ways you can go about it and different solutions for each.
Another question that we usually get a lot of time once teachers want to implement the AI labs in the classroom is there any age or skill level prerequisites, Michael, for students to use the AI lab?
Great question. Yeah, no skill level, age requirement. We basically tailor it depending on the school's needs. So during discovery and when we have that consultation, we find out all the things regarding the room and how many kids are going to be in each session. And then we find out what's the exact skill level of the kids that are going to be in the sessions and tailor it to, the most basic to the most advanced at the higher ed level. So
Awesome.
that's where those consultations are super important.
Paul, how customizable are the AI lab setups to fit different schools, classrooms, and different spaces? How customizable are they?
Extremely customizable. As you can see in the picture there are different like setups. Each one is unique. We, reach out to see what the skill levels of your students are, what, your goals are for them to, learn, and we try to match the product for that particular curriculum.
Awesome. We have another question, and I think this is maybe for Amy or Mike. How does the AI Lab contribute to student engagement and motivation? What's different there?
Oh, I mean, I think just walking into the space, anyone would be excited to, see the clean look, color-coded stations. Sometimes we do a mural on the wall or, different ways to engage students, even just the initial walk-in. You could have Pepper the robot inviting people in telling them, what each station does. That alone is kind of a wow factor as far as, if you have back to school night or open house, showing what students are doing day to day. But also really the students are excited. Starting from an early age nowadays, they're using, iPads and phones, on regular day to day. So getting their hands on these things and being able to understand the programming and coding languages, I think is a huge impact.
Thank you, Amy. We have a question here from Casey at Viento. Thank you so much for your questions. I'm encouraging you, everybody, with your questions, and we'll reply them as soon as possible. So his question is, do you have global support for this? My school is in Asia, and I'm planning to scale.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, sky's the limit as far as AI lab implementation. We actually have a lab in Thailand, I believe.
Yes.
Also, we're implementing in different regions around the US as well. So I think, sky's the limit as far as even customizability. If you already have furniture or computers and you're just looking for products, we're happy to go out there and install a lab for you at your school. And we really just try to listen and custom tailor these solutions for you.
Awesome. We have another question from Jalori Lantigua. Thank you again for your questions. Who can have access to Robot Lab? Schools, for profit, training centers, or nonprofits? And follow-up question, is there funding available?
I would say there is funding available within the US.
Yes.
There may also be other funding available options. However, since we are in the US, we have access to these grant and funding opportunities here. So if you do know of something within your country, you should definitely look into that. And then what was that first question? I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Who can have access to RoboLab? Schools, for profit, training centers, or nonprofits? I think everybody can have access to us, Jalori.
Right.
So yeah, so if you have we also are creating some funding. If you need the link for funding in the US, please feel free to reach out. We'll send you the link. I'm going to copy paste it right here so you can find more options for you, for your classroom, and how to implement the AI labs. If you have options from your own country, please let us know. We can help you through the process and guide you, and then definitely make it happen for you. Thank you so much for your answers. And then we have another question about Paul. Are there ongoing costs associated with maintaining the AI lab, and what do these typically cover?
So in terms code, like in coding?
No, costs, like money. Like ongoing costs.
I was like, code?
No, my accent, go ahead.
So there is software and hardware maintenance, there are warranties. The initial cost or payment covers generally a year of that. And then there'll be supplemental, warranties and stuff to cover maintenance and everything after that. So there will be some minor costs for follow-up, but a lot of it's actually included.
Yeah, and I would say, we could custom tailor it to be a 1 to 3 year warranty, and also add in additional refresh training. So, over the years, there may be turnaround for teachers or a new teacher coming in to be the, for lack of a better word, a master of the room or space. So if you need that additional training, we can always discuss, additional payment options for that. But there are options for additional years coverage.
Mike, what types of future careers can the AI lab prepare for students for? This is one, I think I'm going to ask it to you because obviously you're higher ed and you are more close, to create solutions for higher education teachers and students who are more close to start working and they have like the desire to work in this career. So what type of careers can the AI lab bring to these students?
Right, that's a great question. So there's a lot of, we're emerging into a new age where we're going to be collaborating with these new technologies with robots and AI. So the AI lab is specifically designed to prepare students for these emerging jobs that are coming in the coming years. Potential stations could cover Industry 4.0, so simulating automated warehouses of how people will be working alongside these technologies and collaborating together. Others could be a teleoperation, so working remotely with these technologies in harsh environments. So there's lots of different opportunities to discover future pathways for careers. And essentially, they're just going to be preparing for jobs that don't even exist yet. So we don't even know what the sky's the limit. So there's a lot to be excited about.
Thank you, Michael. We have a question from Angela. Thank you, Angela. If teachers only have the option to use mobile VR units for their students, it is necessary to have the entire robot lab in the building?
That's a tough question. So we still, at Robot Lab as a whole, we still do a byproduct solution. So if you only have virtual reality in your classroom, I would say that's supplemental to whatever you're teaching. However, an AI lab or a STEM lab, innovation lab, whatever you want to call it, it's all the same modular space with multiple products involved. So I would say for virtual reality, that could be supplemental to your classroom, whereas this is a space where you can go into and then teach these things.
Yes. And we have another question from Melissa. She says, I work in a CTA high school. We offer cybersecurity, coding, engineering, robotics, etc. Do you have a list or description of experiences, offer, or demos you could share so we could get a better feel for what the experiences entail? It looks awesome. Just we'll need more information to share with admin and teachers to get them on board.
Yeah, so I mean, both Michael and I are happy to have a one-on-one conversation with you after this. Our emails are on the screen here, also our phone numbers. So I think sometimes it's best to just have a one-on-one discussion and talk about your particular solution. So if you are in high school or out of high school, you can email me or call me. And if it is a career pathway, maybe I can have Michael involved as well, and we can help you walk you through the process.
And Melissa, we also have sometimes some photos of previous AI labs. So if you want more visuals of that, we are more than happy to share those with you so you can see how your classroom might look like. If you have the right space, if you have less space, if you want another setup, we can definitely offer those to you, and you can have like a feel and a sense of how your classroom might look like for your students. And then we have another question for Paul. What measures does RoboLab take to ensure that the AI lab remains updated with the latest advancements in the AI and STEM fields?
So, when we sell you equipment, that doesn't mean you can't upgrade. I mean, look at an iPhone. Every time it comes out, like 3 months later, a new iPhone comes out. Do you need the newest one? Not necessarily, but in terms of software and everything, we make sure you're updated, you're upgraded. The equipment that you purchase should last for quite a while. But there are options for you to, go to the next level if a new 2.0 comes out of the particular equipment you bought. But definitely we keep you updated on everything to make sure that you're successful.
Yeah, and if I can add, this is much different than a tinker space or a maker space. We do have 3D printers in laser cutters and all of these things that you can use, but obviously those are materials that need to be renewed every once in a while, especially a tinker space. Maybe they're using foam and popsicle sticks and things like this, but that's a single use. So really our products are to be used over and over again throughout the years.
And this is a very important question from Jessica, and I think this is for Paul. Can the AI lab accommodate students with special needs?
Oh, of course. We actually have some products that work directly with autism. because they're finding out that, you know, they seem to interact better with a robot than a human sometimes, to get more engagement. So yes, of course, special needs is right up our alley, and we'll assist you with all those needs.
We have another question, and is, can the AI lab support remote or hybrid learning environments?
I would say the solution is really meant for hands-on experience. There are things that can be done from home, maybe practicing code or something online, some sort of lesson, but really it's meant for using the computers inside of the classroom, hands-on with the products that are in there as well. Also, the collaboration I think is really important in teamwork. You know, what more can 2 or 3 brains do than one, or understanding how someone else's thought process might be better or help with their situation. So I really think that the teamwork and collaboration is a huge part of this.
To add on to
Michael.
that, oh, sorry.
No, go
Um,
ahead.
Yeah, to add on to that, there are some virtual tools that come with these, but when you see the kids actually, you know, use a robot versus it showing up on their screen and they can code it, raise your arm, and you see it on the screen, it's like watching a video. But when you have that actual robot stand up, raise its arm, and say dialogue that you created, the smile on their face, there's no comparison. So hands-on is primarily where you want to go with this to really get that engagement.
Yes, one thing we can assure you is they don't want to go away from that lab. So we have another great question. And Michael, this is for you. How can the AI lab help in attracting more students to STEM related courses?
Yeah, it's another great question. So I like to think of it in the way where if you're learning a language at school, there's no other better way than to immerse yourself in an environment where that language is just being spoken to you, and it's the quickest way to learn and by immersing yourself. So that's what these labs are meant for, is for that immersion aspect, to engage with all these workstations and certain stations like the social robots have a fun factor attached to them. So like Paul was saying, you visually see the realization of your efforts with the robots. So that in itself helps with engagement, helps with collaboration with all the kids and students that are in the room. So I think those emotions that are tied into those actions lead to that constant desire to want to learn more and keep pursuing that STEM career.
That's true. We have a question from an anonymous attendee, and the question is, RoboLab teaches a course on Now or Pepper robot programming?
So I would say we don't teach how to program it. There are different programming languages associated with those robots. So what Robot Lab does is teaches you the basics of the proprietary software. It's called Choreograph. So Paul and his team will teach you how to use it, how to use this workstation within the Choreograph software to create your projects. But they're not going to teach you how to do Python. So that's really, I think, where the teacher comes into play, is those more advanced programming languages. That's something that Robot Lab wouldn't do, but we will provide you with the software, downloading the proprietary programs for you, helping you, learn the basics of it. But that more advanced stuff, that's all coming in practice.
The
We have
nice thing,
another. Go on.
the nice
Go.
about that is Choreograph, the proprietary program that comes with Now and Pepper, is literally drag and drop. So for any of the teachers who are out there worried, like I don't know anything about programming, and they want me to teach this, tech class, I'm not saying you don't need to know anything about it, but it's drag and drop. It's basically Scratch or Blockly on steroids. And then the unique thing is, once you drag and drop, like I want to make the robot stand, and then I want it to wave, and then I want it to sing the song. It's just connecting blocks together and then hitting execute, and it works. But you can double tap into those blocks and actually see the Python code and edit that, so you can actually learn programming at the same time. But do we teach programming? No, that's not part of our deal. However, a discussion can be had about additional training that can be done with that. But in terms of like learning Python, that we kind of leave that up to you guys to do.
We have another important question here, and it's for Paul. Does Robot Lab provide any data tracking or analytics for a school to assess the impact of the AI lab on student learning outcomes?
So our Engage platform does track student progress. And when I say it tracks it internally. So, we do have to have privacy concerns. Of course, these are students, but it does give analytics of, homework completed, stuff that's not completed. There are guided programs where it's teacher-led. There are self-taught programs that the students can track, and then the teacher can go in and see how the student is doing. So yes, we have all that type of tracking to learn about student outcomes.
Yeah, but I would say that student data privacy is really important, I think, in all schools. So we do understand that, and the Engage platform is anonymous, so you can assign students a number if you want, or initials, and they won't know any of that student data.
We have a question from a teacher. Can you share some curriculum or lessons that we could integrate in our program?
So a lot of our lessons on the Engage K-12 platform are specific to the products that we sell, highlighting mostly the most popular ones. So if you want to have a separate discussion, feel free to email me or call me, and then we can talk that over and see how we can implement that for you.
And this is a tough question, but I think it's for the three of you. What is your vision for the future of AI in education, and how does the AI lab contribute to this vision?
I think that stems from this emerging technology that we have right now. Chat GPT is a huge topic right now in the world, and how does that fold into the lives that we have now, and like we said before, the future careers we might not even know or understand. I mean, technology has grown from 1970 to now. It's leaps and bounds, so we don't know what the next 50 years is going to be, but highlighting how are we going to make these jobs easier for people. How are these students going to be programming these robotics to use in their careers? These are all things that are emerging right now.
The availability of knowledge has come such a long way since I was in school. I wish I had these tools, but in a way, I wish I didn't have these tools, because I learned old school things. I learned how to use a map. I took a paper map, learned where my house was, and I knew how to get from the store to my house. Now everyone relies on AI or Google Maps. If the internet goes down, we're gonna have a lot of people who are lost. Like, let me wait 5 minutes until the internet comes back up. But still, that's a great tool. But these labs provide that hands-on learning that you just can't get from this Chat GPT. The buzzword nowadays, Chat GPT. You can learn a lot of information from that, but again, touching that robot or making that robotic arm pick and sort colored blocks on a conveyor belt, to me, that's just cool. And you'll see that when the students start playing with this stuff. And actually, to be honest, the teachers are also excited. They get the big smile when they want to play with the equipment, but they also get the big smile seeing their students engaging and learning new stuff.
Yeah, and I also want to highlight the importance of having a solution like this and being able to have the students remember this more than reading the textbook of history. How can you implement these things in a history or math class that'll make them remember these things more? I think the hands-on experience really does help with that.
Mike, do you want to add something to your vision of the AI?
Yeah, I just think there's a lot of unknown of how it will be impacting society and different industries, which I think is why it's great of how customizable the labs are. So usually professors on our end know these trends, but they don't know how to realize it into a learning environment to actually prepare students to start practicing and getting more knowledge in those emerging fields. So I think the customizability of the labs is a great feature, because we listen to you, that where the trends are, where things are headed, and we work on our end to basically create those workstations to facilitate that success.
I totally agree with you. And we have the last question. And if you have more questions and we couldn't get to your question, don't worry about it. Please email Amy or Michael, or I don't know if Paul is there. No, he's not there, but you can email Amy or Michael. They'll be more than happy to answer all your questions related to the AI lab. We're going to go ahead to the last question. And the last question is, how does the AI lab facilitate the teaching of subjects like robotics, coding, and engineering?
I think there's a number of ways to do that, especially using that hands-on experience. And it also depends on the age level. So I feel that we have solutions for all abilities. So, you know, kindergarten through second grade might look different than a third through fifth grade or middle school class, etc. So we kind of custom tailor that depending on the grade level.
Perfect. I don't think we have more questions. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Don't forget, we're going to be on IST in Philadelphia, right, Amy? Philadelphia. So we're going to be there. If you want to have another close-up of how the AI lab might look like, that's the place to be. If you want photos, pictures, if you want to be more, you know, have a visual of the AI labs, please feel free to reach out. We'll be more than happy to guide you and let you know how it looks like. Thank you so much for joining. And thank you guys for taking the time to answer these questions from teachers that really want to implement the solution in the classroom, but they don't know how to start, and we are here to guide them. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.